The Jewish people are told that when they make it to the promised land, they have to bring the first fruits from the harvests to Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, give them to the Kohen, the priest, and then make a declaration thanking God and briefly recapping Jewish history. The recap begins with the words, Arami Ovid Avi, an Aramean destroyed my father. It's a mysterious, cryptic phrase. But we know it's important because it's repeated on Passover, at the Seder in the Haggadah. Most commentators agree that the father mentioned in that phrase is our forefather Jacob, Yaakov, the patriarch. And the Aramean who destroyed him was his father-in-law, Lavan. But that explanation raises as many questions as it answers. For one, why are we only thanking God for saving Yaakov from Lavan and not from Esav, Yaakov's more bitter rival and enemy, his twin brother? One commentator explains that we're thanking God for a saga that is over. Lavan pursued Yaakov, but God interceded and stopped him in his tracks. That ended, so we thank God. In contrast, the fight of Yaakov, the Jewish people, against Esav and Esav's descendants is still raging today. Esav's bloodthirsty descendants still want our heads. They still want to see us destroyed. Second, why does the phrase state that an Aramean destroyed my father? Lavan didn't destroy Yaakov. He tried to. So we gain some insight here. Lavan's real intent wasn't merely to pursue and detain Yaakov. He wanted to destroy him, to kill him and his family, which would have been the end of the Jewish people. And God treats the attempted murder as if it actually happened. Lavan gets the full punishment that he deserves. In contrast, for us, God gives us an extra helping of mercy. He only punishes us for completed acts, not for evil thoughts or plans, because he knows that deep down, every Jew really does want to observe all the dictates of the Torah. And now that I'm talking about God thwarting the plans of our enemies and protecting us, it brings the following to mind. On the holidays and on Rosh Chodesh, we say the Hallel prayer. And in it, we say the psalm that was written by King David that states, all the nations of the world should praise God because his mercy overwhelms us. Why should the other nations of the world praise God because his mercy overwhelms the Jews? I heard a great answer to that question. Many years ago, a fellow in Europe converted to Judaism, and his friends just could not handle that. So they literally beat him and tortured him to death. On his deathbed, one of his gloating, erstwhile friends came over to mock him and said, "Hey, Jew, will you ever forgive us?" To which the convert said, "Absolutely." To which the former friend said, "Come on, give me a break. We beat you to death. How could you forgive us?" And the convert said, "Let me explain. Many moons ago, there was a prince of a country, and he was playing marbles when he was 5 years old with his fellow 5-year-old friends. And one of those friends cheated during the game of marbles. And the prince looked at him and he said, 'Someday, when I become the king, I'll get you back for this.' 30 years later, the king died. The prince became the new king. Do you think that the king went out and found that guy who had cheated at marbles 30 years before when they were 5 years old? Of course not. It would have been beneath his dignity now that he was the king. Now look at me. Would I like to take revenge on you and your cronies now? Of course. But soon, when I get up to heaven, the reward that God has waiting for me is going to so overwhelm me that in comparison, what you guys did to me will just be like a trifling annoyance. I'll barely remember it. I'll forgive you. God is constantly protecting us in ways we don't know about and we can't even imagine. And for that, we have to constantly be thankful.